Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to paper mache your mask. You'll need, of course, your mask and 1/4 of a sheet of newspaper. First we're going to rip it into 3 pieces. Rip with the grain. If you can read the words, start at the top and just rip it down, and you're ripping with the grain of the paper so you'll have nice straight pieces, nice rectangles. If you try to rip across the grain, you only end up with little pieces like that, and we don't want that. I'm going to put these 2 aside, and then I'm going to take my hand and just lay it flat so that all 4 fingers get some glue on it, and I'm going to rub it into the paper. Glue the big pieces and then rip them into smaller pieces. Now, paper mache does 2 things. It strengthens your mask. If you have a little wobbly piece, actually this one is pretty sturdy, but if you have a wobbly piece on the edge of your mask, when the paper mache hardens, then it'll make it stiffer. It's also going to take away some of these bumps and it'll make it smoother. Well, if the paper mache is done correctly. If you follow my method, your paper mache will be expertly done. So now that this is glued on both sides, I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to rip a strip. Actually, this is a cut edge here. I'm going to get rid of that. Always have ripped edges, because those little fibers that are on the edge of the paper when you rip it really make your paper mache stick down. Now I'm going to and make it smooth. And that's about a good size strip. Then I'm going to rip it 2 times to make 3 pieces. These are finger size pieces, and that's the perfect piece to put on your mask. We're trying to take something flat and put it on a curved surface without it being lumpy or wrinkle. So you need to use the smaller pieces. Now, it's not going to stick to the dry plaster. You're going to have to wet, and just the glue that is on your hands is probably enough, but you're going to have to wet both sides. Now, if you have a lot of Vaseline on the inside, take a tissue and wipe it out, before you start to paper mache. But this one is pretty dry on the inside. So I'm going to just take and put my first piece and wrap it nice and tightly around the edge like that. I want you to go around the entire outer edge of your mask. Now you can overlap a little bit. These are a kind of wide, but they're not wrinkling, so I think they're going to be all right, because this is sort of a flatter part of the mask. And then you just continue working around the outside. And every once in a while, these are kind of long, but every once in a while I like to just put a piece across just to hold those all together and really rub the surface smooth when you're doing this. And continue going all the way around the outside of your mask. Now, you need to also, once you get the outside done, you need to rip narrower pieces and go inside of the eye openings like that and wrap it to the inside. You're going to put a paper mache layer on the inside and the outside, so you're not going to be able to see any plaster. If you just put the piece of paper mache up along the edge of the eye and don't wrap it inside, this will eventually just peel off, and once your mask is painted, the paper might tear, and then you'll have a broken looking part, or you'll be able to see the plaster then, and that's not good. So always make sure that you're wrapping inside of the eye. And this is probably too wide. I'm going to just go down like that and continue. Now around the nose area, you're going to need what I call little fingerprints. And this time you're just going to take, and I'm going to put a little bit of, so they stick, little fingerprints. Just take your thumb like that and then place it down, and you just keep putting those little fingerprints of newspaper on the nose. Now we're going to go right over the nostrils. These are not meant to be worn, And even if you did wear them and there's no nostril holes, the air would get in the sides of the mask, so you would be able to breathe, or through the eye holes. And what I like to do is put about 6 or 7 layers over the nostrils, and then maybe I'd say 3 or 4 layers in the front, and then 3 or 4 layers from the back too. And so any place that has a lot of curves, like the lips area and the nose, you need to use that technique of fingerprints. And that's how, continue working on that until the end of class, and we will put them in the bucket like that. Someone wants to talk to me on the phone, and put them in the closet. Have fun.